David Ropes was born in 1814 in Salem, Massachusetts. His father was Timothy Ropes, his mother was Sarah Ropes, and we're fortunate actually to have a lot of information about Timothy and the Ropes family in general because the Peabody Essex Museum has a collection of his papers. I reached out to the librarian there, and they've been so helpful so far. But I'm considering and trying to find time to go to Salem myself. So just to avoid any confusion, there is a David Ropes house in Salem, but it's not David Ropes of the Orange Branch fame. This is a different person, but it is a distant relative. So the Ropes family arrived in the U.S. in 1637. They were fleeing religious persecution. Uh, George Ropes was the first to arrive. George's son was John Ropes. John's son was Samuel Ropes. Samuel's son was Benjamin Ropes. And then Benjamin's son was David's father, Timothy Ropes, here. And there's such an excellent biography of his life in the book, The Founders and Builders of Orange. It's actually online free, but if you have any trouble getting it, I'd be happy to send you a PDF of it. So in 1832, Ropes left his hometown to open the first manufacturer of cutlery in Maine with his brother George Ropes. This is important because while in Maine, he and his brother got involved with the Portland Anti-Slavery Society. So David Ropes has a long quotation in the book History of Anti-Slavery about talking about the society and also about his brother. And it is there that David claims that his brother's home was a stop on the Underground Railroad. So some sources claim that Ropes, while in Maine, also housed slaves who were fleeing to Canada as part of the Underground Railroad. I haven't confirmed this, but I'm definitely digging into this. I intend to find out where the Ropes used to live, whether the structures still exist, whether they're landmarked. In 1836 in Plymouth, he married Lydia Bisbee, and she was already quite an accomplished woman. She was one of the first women physicians in the nation. She would also become the first president of the Women's Club of Orange. I was lucky to find their marriage registration, which is on the image on the right. So in 1846, he moved to South Meridian, Connecticut to open a cutlery business with Julius Pratt. Now, this is important because they eventually opened a New York office. And that's why Ropes came to New Jersey. First, he moved to Newark, and then he moved to Orange. I actually found his census records from 1880, which is kind of crazy. He lived on White Street near High Street. He became involved in the India Rubber Comb Company in 1862, but the economic panic of 1873 caused him to give up business and open a real estate office in Orange. This is significant because this is what actually brought about the Orange brand. So, as a real estate developer, Ropes was responsible for much of Orange and West Orange's grid. So, as a real estate developer, Ropes was responsible for much of Orange and West Orange's street grid. Founders and builders of Orange, there's a quote saying that he probably opened and improved more streets than any other man. So in 1864-65, he was elected mayor of Orange. He sat on the Common Council for 1866 to 1872. This was a really interesting time in the town's history because Orange was slowly being sort of parceled off. Between 1861 and 1863, South Orange, West Orange, and East Orange all became independent towns. And from what I understand, he was vehemently against this, but nevertheless, it happened. During this time as mayor, the Civil War was also happening, and it ended in 1865, which was when his term also ended. This is notable as Ropes was an abolitionist and member of the Portland Anti-Slavery Society. So, what I hope to dig into is how that manifested, how his anti-slavery beliefs manifested in Orange. So, Ropes was one of the founding members of the Orange Society of New Jerusalem. This was a church. In some publications, it's called the New Church Society. The congregation built a church on Essex Street in 1866. It is often referred to as the Church of New Jerusalem or New Church in maps and newspapers. So this is the current church at that address. And I haven't been able to find out if this was actually the church, but I intend to. I tend to go down to the Hall of Records and try to confirm that. But it would be really interesting if this was still his church. So in 1866, at 62 years old, Ropes founded the Watchung Railroad. This would eventually become the Orange Branch. So the economic panic of 1873, which caused Ropes to leave his business, caused him to switch careers into real estate. And this was really what brought about the railroad line. His real estate holdings allowed him to carve out that corridor. His home at White Street and High Street was sold in 1838 to the Sisters of Charity at St. John's. In 1888, he and his wife moved in with his daughter Clara Ropes Prescott, who lived nearby. So in 1889, David Ropes is buried at a family plot in Rosedale Cemetery. This is the actual plot of David Nichols Ropes. He's buried there with his children. I tracked down most of the obituaries for the people in this family plot. The first was Lydia Ropes. There's another long obituary in the Newark Evening Call. She was quite accomplished all on her own, without any association to David Ropes. And I'm really glad I found out more about her. I hope someday to do a presentation on her. This is John David Ropes' son John Ropes. I didn't find an obituary for him, but he uh, according to the the tombstone itself, he was 1 year old when he passed away. Edith Ropes was also 1 year old. Didn't find an obituary. His son Charles Franklin Ropes, I found his obituary. He and his brother Albert, you'll see, were in Sacramento. I don't know what brought them there, but they both died while in California. Uh, Albert Barrett Ropes was also in Sacramento with his brother. Um, Arthur Dudley Ropes and his son, believe it or not, this is such a crazy fact, but his son was a novelist, Bradford Ropes, and he wrote the book called 42nd Street. This was later turned into the Tony Award winning musical 42nd Street. David Ropes had one child who was not buried with him, and that was Clara Ropes Prescott. Clara Ropes, I haven't been able to figure out where she was buried, but I hope to do that. Um, she is the person who is responsible for the park in Orange, named after David Ropes. So in 1926, Clara Prescott donated this land at the corner of Bradford Street in Washington. This would become Ropes Playground. It was later expanded even further from what it originally was. But it still exists, and there's a mural with the name of the playground there. It's actually the 100th anniversary of that land being deeded to the city. So I thought this might be a time for a plaque or some kind of way to remember Clara or David or the Ropes family. There was one other plot at the grave site, and that was for Alice Ropes, and I believe this was Arthur's wife, who was named Alice. And that concludes the presentation. is there any questions, or is there anything you would like to know further, or is there anything you thought was interesting or you want more information about?
I mean, just speaking generally for me, I always am fascinated to learn about the history and how the things in our world were built and they were real people. It was not they were real people that lived and made choices, and as a result, we're in the world we are today. So I just want to speak generally to that.
Thanks, Jack. Good to see you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I think you'll what I found is that the Orange Branch was actually just one chapter of this person's life, and I have a speaker going who will go into depth more about the Orange Branch itself.
And if anybody, I don't know whether anyone else has had the experience of actually uh, using Rope's Playground. It's extremely active in the 50s and 60s. The city had all sorts of arts and crafts and other programs, and the place was loaded every day of the summer. It's a
Hmm.
good place.
John, did you grow up in Orange?
I grew up 2 blocks from there. I grew up on High Street right near the Orange Line.
Yeah, they. I don't know if you've been by there recently. They just renovated the park. So there's a new basketball surface. It looks pretty good.
Oh, good, good, good. Because the interesting thing is around the corner, there's a brand new park standing suspiciously on the land that was owned by Radium Corporation.
Yeah.
The one that comes out that I'm talking about is parallel to the Orange Line, where it crosses High Street. There used to be an Esso station and Alden Coal there.
Yeah, you know that park on Alden Street, it sort of connects to the Orange Branch corridor. That's why it's definitely on the forefront of our advocacy. It would be great to connect that um, to the West Orange segment someday.
And it's within sight of the Edison plant. A long site, but a site. It's only like 3 or 4 blocks. Now, I think it'd be an excellent anchor, if you will, if we did nothing else, get that part going, between there and uh, the Erie Loop on Main Street. And, and that right of way all exists still.
Hmm.
Once you get on Main Street, the right of way is gone, at least in places.
Agree.
There's still in the dark flower across the street.
Just what was his connection with the railroad? Was he an officer later or has some other connection? Major stockholder?
I think that would be a better question for our presenter on it. He's writing a manuscript on the Orange Branch, and that'd be it's a great question. Well, thank you all for coming. I'm going to put this presentation online, and the other sort of open-ended mysteries that I might have raised. I will certainly keep everyone up to date about that in our newsletter. So please, if you haven't signed up, please sign up. We have a really interesting agenda for our historical society coming up. We have two presenters coming up in March and then another in April. Uh, if you joined late, please reach out to me and let me know if you'd like to present. This is what this platform is for. It's to give people a space to share what they know and share their memories.
Yeah, I would just like to say that I'm David Asher, and I'm with the Free Walkers, and I lead a an All Oranges historic walk, which does go right by actually the radium plant, well, now the park. But if you go to freewalkers.org, you'll find the posting for it. I forget the date; I don't have it in front of me right now. But I'm hoping to add information on the walk about the Orange Branch, which I haven't talked about before, but. Um, I'm hoping maybe people will follow that and join me on the walk.
Thank you, David. I'd love to reach out and talk about that further, for sure.
Sure.
Great to see you. Well, everyone, I don't want to keep you longer than you have to
What
be kept for here.
one may I
I
add one thing at the
Yes,
end?
of course.
So my name is Jack McKee. I'm with Hudson County Complete Streets, a nonprofit advocacy group that does, among other things, transit. And one of our new campaigns actually pertains to rail history. It's Better Light Rail for Hudsonburg and Light Rail. So I've included the campaign page as well as the petition that we've.
I think we lost Jack. I don't know what happened. Jack, if you're still there, if you're not there, I Jack's group, Hudson County Complete Streets, is one of the groups I reached out to present. I'm really glad to see him. He's also doing a campaign to extend Newark Light Rail. I promised him, and I will keep my word that I'm going to send out that campaign information to our newsletter subscribers. It's a really great campaign, something we can all get behind. And more importantly, it's a campaign writing, it's a letter writing campaign. So if you can, it's an automated letter. You just have to open the link and add your name and contact info, and then you'll send it to elected officials to sort of get some motion on this issue. Sorry I lost you, Jack, but I will send that out to our subscribers and everyone. Thank you for joining. It's great to see you as always, and hope to
Um,
see you again.
oh,
Yes,
excuse me. Do you know if there's information for to other than his websites to contact Jack?
yes, I can send that to you, Rachel.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, send me an email if you don't mind, and I'll reply with his contact information.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Well, everyone, take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and hope to see you soon.